So, mental health in the Black community. Since that is like the theme of the year. How to say that? I believe in going to the doctor. Do I like going to the doctor? No. Because my experience are not always, well, they're somewhat like positive for me personally. But example, I'm going to take like my sister. She gave birth like a year ago, right? And then you will think, easy peasy, she gave birth, that's it. No, like she had to go back twice. And then the second time when she went, because like, you know, like you give birth and then they're supposed like to clean like the inside and everything's supposed like to like come out.
Yeah.
It didn't. So then she started bleeding and like having like, it's hurting her. And she's like, what the fuck? So I'm like, you have to go back to the hospital. She goes back. They're like, oh no, it's nothing, whatever. Goes back.
It's
second
nothing.
time. Yeah, it's nothing, right?
Okay,
Goes back
sure.
a second time after that. And then the doctor's like, oh, okay, yeah, there's some more stuff left. She's like, bruh, if it's not gone today, I'm going to like the media because this is madness. I came back already. And I did like, and then, you know, when you give like birth, you have to go like to so many checkups and all of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
so nobody ever caught that. And I've been to the hospital for so many times and I've been telling you about like how I'm having pain, I'm having this. And then it's like, I'm just telling her story, but so many of my friends, they have like horror stories, like going to the doctor that I'm like,
I feel like every Black person has at least one story. Like at least one
at
story.
least, yeah, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that is why. And then when I was doing research, because I was like, okay, well, let me just see. Because me in my bubble, that's my understanding in my little bubble of why a lot of people are not going to the doctor. And then that's something like I also like kind of like lived. And then doing some research and like hearing other people actually like talking about it on the news and reading papers, I'm like, well, not a lot of things have changed since like back in the days. Nothing has changed. We didn't like... So that is why I'm like, we don't go to the doctor and we're not helping ourselves because
Okay.
of like the doctors are not helping us. And then the fact that like, you know, you go to the doctor and you're like, I'm in pain. You can take it.
Yeah. So I've heard that because of the heritage of slavery, white
Yeah.
people actually have that idea that Black people are strong for some reason. And I don't like being told that I'm strong. It makes me feel uncomfortable, especially by a doctor. And I remember I went to see a doctor. I don't want to go too much into details, but he suggested a procedure. And I was like, whoa, this is so scary. Is it going to hurt? You know? And he was like, oh, don't worry. You look strong to me. I promise he said that. And Naomi, look at me. I'm wearing a hoodie, so you can tell.
You're like
I'm skinny as fuck.
20 pounds. Like, what?
I'm really skinny. I have a tiny voice. Everybody keep telling me that I talk like a baby. There's nothing that screams strength about me. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I was really scared. My voice was shaky. I was like, is this going to be painful? And then he was like, you look strong to me. What do you mean? I actually asked, like, what do you mean? He was just like, you look strong. And I was like, where? Like, where do I look strong? He was like, no, you'll be fine. I was like, no, I don't know if I want to do it, you know?
That is so crazy. I always think like
Yeah.
that. That is why it's been like a while since like I say even like I'm a strong Black woman. I'm like, I'm weak. Please do not.
No,
do
yeah,
not.
it's really uncomfortable.
That.
If someone tell you they're scared for a procedure, you're supposed to reassure them and tell them like why it's necessary, why it will be fine. Don't say, "Oh, you look strong." What does it mean? Nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
And the thing is, like, I think that came from, like, I think, like, is it, like, scientific racism that kind of came into it? Yeah. Because, like, oh, my God. Okay. So many things to unpack. The whole thing, it's, like, well, first, like, I'm going to start, like, kind of, like, how it started because of, like, slavery and all of that. And then doing, like, the whole testing. And because of, like, when we kind of, like, wanted to stop slavery, and then people are like, this is wrong, their scientific, like, racism was saying, well, no, because, like, Black people, Black men, especially, they're, like, physically, like, more strong. So for them, it's okay. And they're not, like, I think, like, is it, like, our nervous system or something that I have it written somewhere here? Okay, primitive nervous system, apparently, like, because of that, we were not able to actually like feel the pain
my gosh.
as much as white people. So slave was actually okay for us. Like, it was, and I'm just like, so
That's like a classic. When you do something
What?
horrible, you find a way to justify it just so that you can sleep at night, Like even if it's not true, you will find a way to make it okay so that you are fine with it.
yeah,
So,
no,
like,
exactly. And then
yeah.
I was like reading, because like my friend a few days ago we're talking about it, right? So I'm like telling her, I'm like, yeah, so I'm gonna do the podcast, whatever, and then we're just like going over whatever. And then she's like telling me about the syphilis thing. I kind of like heard it before, the whole
yeah.
syphilis thing. And I was like, wait,
That
That
traumatized.
is-
That really traumatized Black people, and I think people really underestimated how bad
Yeah.
it did traumatize Black people. Even for the COVID vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
if you notice, Black people were not jumping into it right at the start. Most Black people that I know were like, "I'm not doing it,"
Yeah.
Because when you hear those stories, you're like, you just don't know when it's gonna happen again.
exactly. No, honestly, when she reminded me of that, I was like, duh.
Yeah.
Like, come on, people. You told us like you were like gonna do like, cure us, help us for like, this amount of time. But really you were like looking at us, doing a little bit of like science, waiting for us to die.
Yeah, literally. That's
how
crazy.
how are we supposed to like be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to doctor, I'm gonna go take like this vaccine, it's gonna if there's like nothing for us to go about and be like, yeah, I like trust this.
Yeah. But you know what? It's getting better. Exceptionally, it's bad, but I feel like more doctors are being aware because we talk about it so much these days that it's getting better, So I would encourage Black people to go to the doctor. If you feel like something isn't right, trust your gut and change the doctor. But you have to go because, yeah, we're just dying for very small things. Did you know that Black women were more likely to die giving birth
Yep.
than white women?
Yep.
And
I've
I
heard
was
that.
like, why?
I've heard that, but that's the thing. I'm like, but the thing is, like, when you think about it, I didn't grow up going to the doctor, like, for like normal, like yearly checkup, unless like I was like really sick.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just not what I was taught, and I think like for me, I was able to get over it and being like, no, I need to go to the doctor. And normally, I try to like find like the correct doctors for me, or like I try to go into like a woman like health center where like it's only like women's doctor, and then I know like they have also like Black nurses and Black doctors there, and I'm like, it's only women, so like they may like feel me more than if it was like a white man trying to like treat me. So that's like what I do, and that's how like I was able to get over it. But other people, I think they grew up kind of like me, not going to the doctor like yearly, doing those type of checkups. So when you get older, it's like, what do I need to go to the doctor for? Like, you don't trust because like of how you grew up, and it's like really really hard to change. And kind of like talking about like doctors and all of that, I was a few months ago, and I like rewatched it 2 days ago, well, like 1st of February, because she did like a new interview. But is her name Tara G.P. Jensen?
Hampson, Tara G.P. Hampson.
Yeah.
Cookie
Her-
from Empire.
Yes, her. And she was talking about like her mental health and how like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
took her like a long time, and now like she has like an organization with like a lot of Black people to be able, because I always tell people, yeah, go see somebody. But what I should also mention, mine is Black, a Black woman. Thank you very much. I am not gonna go see and talk to like a white person, not because like they're not qualified, but they don't understand me. And when she was saying that a few years ago, I was like, oh my God, that is so true. That is so true. And then like she kept on like talking about it and have like her own organization. So I think like we need to find like people that look like us to be able to help us, because like they understand it, they went through it. But I know it's hard. I'm able to say like I'm able like to go like to the doctor and do this, because obviously like I live in Canada and I have like the little card, and like most of the
The
time
magic card.
the magic card, I have it, and like my insurance covers what the health card is not covering, right? So I'm like, go on the app and like minus it, and then they repay me. So In Canada, I will say, when I was looking at like some like I was reading in Canada, like it's still the same but less than in the US, because like in the US it's like trying to go. I was like trying to like actually search. Like I went on the internet. I'm like, you know what? Let me see how much it actually costs to go see somebody. Girl, it is not covered. It is not covered. Nothing is covered there. So I'm like, yeah, that is why most people are waiting until like it's like the worst until they go see somebody. They go to the doctor. They go, because why are they paying for that? It is not like available for them, right?
As I
So-
said, it is getting better. There's a lot of organizations these days that are, trying to tackle that issue. So there are definitely resources available for Black people. You just need to look for it, which is not okay, but we're getting there. And there's also that thing where people think that Black people just don't like going to therapy, and it's true.
Yeah.
But there was a study that was done in Canada with about 400 Canadians, Black Canadians, and actually 60% of them said that they would go to a therapist if they were Black.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, we would actually go. If we could easily find a Black therapist, we would actually go. So I don't think that the issue is that Black people don't want to go to therapy, but they need someone who has enough cultural awareness to understand them.
I think it might be getting better with our generation, because like they're really open. Example, me like I was sending a message to my colleague. I'm like, hey, are you gonna take like your half day? Because like we have like monthly health day, just like that. So I'm like, hey, are you gonna take it today? He's like, oh my god, yes, I'll take it. Can you can you take yours like next week? Because anyways, I have an appointment to go talk to somebody, and he's a man and he's Arab. And he felt so comfortable just telling me that out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, it's really getting better with like our generation. It's still not there. But
Yeah.
our generation, a lot of people are like getting better at it, seeing the doctor, talking to somebody. But I feel like it's still not there, because
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that Black people are so... I'm not talking about going to the doctor,
Yeah.
period. I mean like therapy. Because I think there's a huge stigma around it, right?
Yeah, because like I don't know if you ever realized, but when I talk to a lot of like my friends, it's the same thing as I heard when I was a kid, or like hearing my mom or like my aunt telling people. They'll be like, "You're fine, just go and pray." No, like there's nothing wrong with you. Like you're not crazy. Stop it, because if there's something wrong with you, that means you're crazy. So shut it down. And like they like put such a like bad image into like going to therapy and like mental health. So that is the issue. Because like any immigrant, I'm not just saying Black people, any immigrant that I talk to and then say, why took you so long to actually go to therapy? Why are you still not open to go talking to somebody? They give me the same thing. It's like, no, you're fine. We don't talk about it. Shut up. Like you're not crazy. Or you need, just pray and it's gonna go away. I pray. I believe in God. But I also believe I need like help when I see like, okay, Naomi, like maybe right now you're not feeling too great. You should maybe go talk, or maybe it's not even something like I'm aware of it. So it's until people actually get to that level, it's still the same thing that they grew up with hearing. So they keep on saying that, and then they will teach that to their kids, and that's not okay.
Okay. Well, one thing that I want to say is to whoever is watching, if you are not okay and you need to talk to someone, it's okay to pray. Praying is good, but maybe God is going to use that therapist, right, to work for you. Like when you ask something to God, he's not going to like come down from the sky, and be like, oh, here you are, So like that's another way that God works, by providing the resources that you need to get better.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time we start seeing therapists that way, If you can go to the doctor when you need surgery for your legs or for whatever, then you can also go if there's something wrong with your mental health. And we should not be ashamed of it.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. As always, easier said than done. But yeah, that is why I'm like, I believe in God, but I also believe like getting the extra help. Because if I say, God, give me a tall, Black, like, man's gonna look at me like, Naomi, did you leave your house today? Did you help yourself? How am I supposed to help you if you're not doing that extra step? Right? So that's why I'm like, I 110% believe in God, but I also believe in helping myself. And helping myself means like going to therapy, doing this, doing that. So if I stay at home and waiting for somebody to come knock on my door, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. What I also want to say is for a lot of African people, they don't really understand what anxiety and depression are. When they think about mental health issues, they think about all these quote unquote crazy people that are
Yeah.
walking around naked in Africa. And that's not always the face of mental
Yeah,
illness. And they
no.
usually attach it to witchcraft. That's a thing as well. You know, it's like, yeah, someone
Yeah.
did juju on him or whatever. And we need to stop making fun of it. Like, that's the way of understanding it. We need to, like, sit down with them and, you know, essayer de décortiquer why. Because, like, if you try to make fun of it as this is so backward or whatever, they feel attacked.
Yeah.
And they want to defend themselves and they will find a way to actually justify it. So we need to have open conversations about it where we respect each other's belief and be like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is the resources that are available to help. Like, just take a leap of faith and try it out, you know?
No, honestly, I think it's just like, you just need to learn because it's gonna keep on going. It's just until, like, you know, I'm thinking maybe not the Gen Zs, maybe like 2 generation after Gen Zs, because I feel like Gen Zs are a little bit like on like the cray side.
You're so mean.
Everybody thinks that, and you think that.
I think
But-
our parents also used to think that we were crazy. We're just different.
Yeah, but no, Gen Z a little bit cray on the cray side, but it is getting better because, like, you know, they're putting like depression on there. They're able to talk about it on social media to like be more like normalized. So I'm like, y'all are cray, but still putting it out there. So maybe like 2-3 generation down the line, I think we're gonna have like a good result of like having a lot of Black people going to therapy and being like more comfortable. But
one thing that is important to notice is that yes, more and more people are going to therapy.
Yeah.
However, I feel like more people, I don't even feel like it's fact. Studies have shown that more people are experiencing anxiety and depression. Like literally the graph goes like this, you know? So I'm like, why is that? Because we are so blessed as a generation.
Yeah.
Like knowledge is so accessible. There are so many ways to make money. Like we have opportunity for greatness. So why is it that we are so sad and so depressed and so anxious?
I think
You
that's
know.
because of like your everyday life. It's stressful. It is stressful. Like just every day trying to live, trying to breathe.
What do you think
it
makes
is
it worse compared to, you know, our parents' generation, for example?
Everything. It's like, you know, like our parents or even me when I was a kid, I thought like at 22 I'll be like married, I'll have like this like huge house, but inflation is out there, like the crush, like the market. I'm like everything, like small little thing that maybe like our parents did not have to go through like as hard as us, like it is happening. Even if like people are thinking like, oh, it's not happening, no, it is happening. If you like look at like the prices when you were a kid going to buy like one candy to a price of like that same one candy today, it's not the same. Like it went up like 100 and
Salaries
something.
are also increasing.
They're not increasing that much. They are not increasing that much. It's really hard unless like you go like to a company that's like a really huge company that are able to provide you like the actual like a good like salary like to begin with, and then like keep on like raising it like every year. But most companies, they don't increase your like your salary based on like the inflation. Most of them they don't.
Okay.
Right? So you still have like a small salary, but inflation went up and everything is like more, but you only had like an extra 1,000 that year. So that is why I think also like a lot of like young people are still like living like with roommates, or like they're trying to, because we cannot get by. We're having so many like problems.
Especially in the city, right?
Yeah,
Living in
exactly.
the city is so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like that's what like, you know, it's really the stress and the anxiety. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but you cannot control it, but it is still there. It's still your life. You're still like waking up in the morning and being like, crap, I have to go like work this like little like job that may not even like pay like my entire rent, right? So I think it's like all of those things combined, and like the pressure of just like social media, that is probably why it's like increasing.
Social media is a big thing. I hate social media. I understand why it's important, why it's great, don't get me wrong. But I feel like it's the root of so much issues in our society these days. And I definitely feel like the level of anxiety and depression is impacted by how much we use social media. Because it's so easy to compare yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like back in the day, people would stay in the circle.
Yeah.
You know, people around you were the same social and economic class as you. But now you can see the lifestyle of richer people. When before, even when I was like much younger back in Africa, like rich people were like, you would see them from far away. You know they're rich, but you don't really know what's going on in their household and stuff like that. But now you go on Instagram, you just open your app and you can see what Kylie Jenner is doing, what that person is doing. And you're like, you realize that they are human just like you. So it's kind of like, if they have that, if they can do that, why can I not have the same thing?
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of people are faking the lifestyle. It's like, there was that girl, she got in $10,000 debt just to build her Instagram.
Oh, hell no.
And she was getting deported or something because she... Yeah. You didn't hear about that story?
Wait, because I know I heard like one girl that used to live like in like the most expensive hotels like around like, you know, the world, and like partying with like the richest of the richest, but it was all fake, and then she got a lot of credit debt, and now she's in prison.
Oh, okay.
Now she's in prison.
That escalated. But yeah, so you know, people are putting themselves through so much stress just to appear a certain way, and we need to stop doing that, you know.
Really? I'm like, listen. Okay, yesterday, funny thing, I was talking to my friend, and we're talking about like, you know, the perfume, I think it's called Baccarat Rouge. I don't know if you heard of it.
I've heard, yeah.
Girl, do you have it?
No.
Exactly. So, because I don't have it too. I wanted.
If anyone wants to, you know.
Everybody wants.
Yeah.
Send
we
it.
take
Send
gifts.
two. Send two, please.
We take, if you need our address, just write in the comment section and let us know.
Comment section. Yeah, it's not going to be our address. It's going to be a P.O. box. But please let us know. Just two of them. I'll be extremely happy. But we're talking about it, right? We're just laughing. And I'm like, I will not go out of my way to go buy like, and then it's like, I think it's like 70 milliliter, and it's like 425, and the 200 it's 800 something. I'm like, this is a perfume, like I'm spraying you evaporate, it's done. I'm gonna go and clean like my clothes at the end of the day. Like, why am I going out of my way to buy something so expensive that is like, if I can just get that like $400, put it in my saving account and do something else with it that's like way more important, that's gonna benefit me. And that like will go into like just like finances, because I feel like a lot of like young people, I'm not just saying Black people, well, a lot of us too, but just in general, we're not great at finances and all of that, and saving and putting like, it's, do I save and like, you know, being able to do something great, or maybe take a trip, or should I just buy this thing and being able to do like a post on Instagram?
Did you hear about lifestyle creep?
No.
Okay.
What?
So it's a phenomenon where every time you have more money, your taste
Okay,
increase.
yes. I did not know I did not know the name, but I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
So like when you have more money, things that were not essential in your life all of a sudden become essential. You know, like you were fine in your studio, but now that you have a salary increase, all of a sudden, this place is too small for me. Like,
girl,
I need to move.
I'm going through the same thing. I've been going through the same thing. I'm like, since like I've like had my job, I'm like, girl, you can like get like a bigger place. You can like go and buy. Even this year, I'm still every day in Marketplace, Kijiji, trying to find like
but you were
an
fine
apartment.
before that salary
I was
increase,
fine, and that
right?
is why I'm like, Naomi, you're not moving. Like, how dumb are you? Why are you moving? Why are you not putting this money? And it's an everyday struggle where I have to be like, what are you doing, Naomi? You barely have any kind of bills to pay in your life.
It's a thing, yeah.
Yeah, but people have to like, because it is, I understand you people.
You
like,
need to reflect
we all,
on
yeah. Because honestly, I'm like, yeah, I want like a walk-in closet. Yeah, I want this. I'm like, Naomi, you're going to go waste your money into renting an apartment. If like you can wait for like the market to go great and actually buy something that's yours, that you're proud of. And that's honestly, like, it's hard. I think a lot of people just have to remind themselves every day, like, no, you're saving money. You have a goal.
It is hard, but
Keep
you have to
thinking to
do
your
it.
goal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that is why I'm like, listen up, people. I
Because
wish.
living to paycheck will put you in a state of stress.
Yes.
Mental stress, anxiety, even depression, and then you need to go to a therapist, you know?
Yeah,
so you need
exactly.
to like get your shit together, get your life together, and stop comparing yourself and, you know.
Honestly, yeah. But it's really hard to do because sometimes I'm like,
And okay, let me
And-
know if I'm wrong. But I feel like black people are actually worse at that. They love to show off compared to other communities.
yes. Oh, no.
Right? It's not just me, right?
it's black people. And
Why do
I'll
we
put,
do that?
number one, I'll put my people. Congolese people, number one on that damn list. We are number one. We are so bad at it that I hate it. We are so, like, I don't know why it's something like that. That's like, I was watching a video and it was like in my country, like in Congo. And, you know, in my country or most like African places, we only have 2 seasons, okay?
Yeah.
On a le temps sèche et on a le temps de pluie.
That's it.
Like,
That's it.
let's not like kid ourselves here, right? And you see them with like those like big fur jacket, and then they're like,
Really?
I have like some money. I'm like, boy, I know you're stinking because like you are sweating so much, like it's so hot. Why are we
That
doing
is
this?
crazy.
But-
no, yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, you know what? I think it comes from the fact that black people are looked down so often that we feel like we need to like be extra. Like we need to do, like we need to work harder. We need to appear better just
Yeah.
to be respected. So we put a lot of effort into just looking good. Have you ever been to a shop and they are like, you know, looking at you in a weird way? So because of that, I actually feel pressure. I feel like I have to dress up to go shopping, you know?
I used to feel that pressure.
Yeah, I
For
do.
the longest time, I
do.
Nowadays, I'm like, listen, you're gonna get me how you're gonna get me that day. If I'm dressed up, I'm dressed up. Because I used to, like, when I was younger, I used to go to store, make sure that I'm dressed up for that store, and then I'll also feel a pressure. Even if like I didn't actually like anything, I will feel a pressure to buy something that I
Just
don't
because
even.
you're black. Yeah, you see?
And I felt it so much for so long that nowadays I'm like, you know what? I have everything in check. I am not buying the thing. I am not buying it. Like, you're gonna get me how you're gonna get me. Like,
Girl, I went to that shop one day and I saw that really nice dress and I wanted to try it. And I asked the lady, I was like, can I try this one? And she was like, oh, do you want to know the price first? I promise. I was young. I was like, I think I was like 19. So I wasn't assertive enough to be like, what you mean? You know, I was just like, oh no, I just want to try it because I was so shy. But like every day I think about it, I was so disrespectful. I said I want to try it. I saw the price and I said I want to try it. So what's your problem? You know, what do you mean? Do you want to know the price first? So disrespectful. So because of that, I'm like, because I was just wearing jeans and a t-shirt. So now I'm like, okay, maybe if I was, you know, wearing a nice shirt, like a nice skirt, nice shoes, she would have treated me differently. And I think that's the experience of so many black people just navigating everyday's life. So they're like, okay, now I have to save to buy that Gucci belt, you know?
see, that is.
So-
I am so happy that like I got my whole like confidence like early on, like in my 20s, because if you think about it, a lot of like rich people, they don't be out here like rocking like a Gucci shirt that costs
That
them
is true.
200.
That
And
is
they
true.
didn't know. They're gonna go and buy like a basic $30 white t-shirt that's gonna do the same exact thing. That's like good quality also and save their money. That I'm like, yeah, I used to really kind of like be focused into like, oh, I need this designer thing to, what do you need it for? But yeah, it's black people. We could go over it. Please, like, don't. Honestly, I understand what's coming from, but we just need to stop like trying to like pleasure other people because we're just getting into that, and it's not just black people. All of the kids nowadays, like,
Yeah. We need to do better. But that was a nice conversation. Like,
yeah. So that is that for today. So a little contribution for Black History Month. That's it. I'm gonna keep on celebrating it every other day or every other month than February.
yep. And that is a wrap.
It
Thank
is a
you
wrap.
so much for watching and enjoy Black History Month.
Bye.